Fox League Super Saturday kicks off. It is round 23. The 4th place Dragons up against the 10th place Titans. The Dragons, however, with a few changes, a few late changes. And I think the Gold Coast Titans are smelling a little bit of an upset. They'll be running with the use of southwesterly breeze in this opening 40 minutes. The Dragons, good meters, operating short side here up towards halfway. Stewie Mason and Josh Dow, the 2 front rowers for the Dragons, have been super impressive. So too this man, Joe Lovadua, playing with the 13 on his back this afternoon as we go to Willis. Finally gets the kick in. Chases offside here. It's an easy take at the back for the Gold Coast Titans. Curtis Danzy smaller. It was a good set up until the final play, Jamie.
Yeah, he got a little bit rushed there, Jackson Willis. A rush kick into the corner, but he did get one away. He'll have to try and get that breeze under control. But it was a good set from the Dragons. Lovadua, I love that inclusion of him at 13, Andy. I think he brings a lot to this Dragons side. He'll play big minutes today.
It's also a way of getting him and Hayden Lomax both involved in the starting football side and giving them plenty of minutes. It increases their attacking opportunities no end. Here are the Titans, and this is Akaraya. To the right-hand side, the middle of the field. Justin Fye. Grimson, and downfield we go. No real questions asked of that kick, and a pretty easy response there from Zach Lomax.
I didn't mind the kick from Grimson there. He puts it into the corner, and good pick up from Lomax straight into it after having a couple of weeks off. Gets a carry early on in this game.
He has had a couple of weeks off, but he has had a very busy season with junior rep stuff and school footy, and Wayne Collins, I guess, managing workload for the young man.
Yeah, as we see Hayden Lomax take a run, there's no better probably person that the Dragons could have looking after this young talent as Willis gets his kick away.
One's good.
He's got an awkward kick on him, doesn't he, Jackson Willis?
Well, he does, and he's just not setting himself up in the right part of the field, Andy. He's giving, for people watching at home, young halves, you want to try and get in the middle of the field, and he's getting all the pressure on the inside as we see Lomax give away a penalty. So everyone's rushing at his kicking leg, so he's got nowhere to go, and by the time he steps back in, that's why he's seeing the pressure come in. So I'd like to see him finish in the middle of the field and kick down into this right-hand corner on the front foot.
Effectively, you're kicking across your body, aren't you? You're an easy target for the defenders. This is nice from the Titans, and play on is the call. Trey Williams, centre field, still going back to Philip Sammy. Normally a centre, playing in the #1 jersey. Karaya. 23 is Jack Peacock. Late replacement for Mastroianni. Inside the go zone here. Roberts almost through young Ethan. And has lost the ball. Play number 4. A huge relief for the Dragons. They were under all sorts of pressure.
He looks good, doesn't he, Roberts? Takes a line on there. Unfortunately, comes up with the error, but that blinding speed to burst through the line with his body. Great start from the Titans. They're on the ropes there, the Dragons.
Yeah.
They hold them out early.
Yeah, there's a right and wrong way to do it, guys. So just make sure you make sure you get into one second.
Good young kid. Very talented footballer and levelled. Coach Ben Wolf has got a great rap on Ethan Roberts.
Wait here.
A little bit restricted with that left knee injury. You can see heavy strapping on Ethan Roberts. It's time here for the Titans to muscle up defensively. They need that first contact to be stronger. That's really one of the areas that has let them down in recent weeks. They had 2 close ones. The Titans lost to the Broncos by 2 last week, and a draw against the Tigers 7 days prior. slowly just slipping out of the top 8, and they're looking to play finals football. I think it's for the first time in 7 years. Out to Willis, again kicking across the body. He's got a piece of this. Allowed to bounce. Oh, somehow the Titans survived. Not by great design. That was horrible from Gold Coast. But the Dragons rewarded for plenty of energy and enthusiasm chasing the kick.
Well, anytime you come up with a kick that's probably not your best, and Willis hasn't started this game great, but it was an error there from Dane Smalley. He might have got that lost in a little bit of sun. It's overcast here, but that sun's starting to poke through. But again, kicking across his body, you can see the trouble he's having with it.
When you get those spiral balls, Jackson is able to kick and kick pretty effectively. The breeze that's here today, kicking over into that far corner, is going to be making it a nightmare for the catchers.
Oh, Andy, you're 100% right, as we see Roberts now. Long kick. Lomax will field that on the full, but the ball just seems to dip away from you at the last second when you get it flush, and Willis is capable of doing that. Just like to see him get a little bit deeper.
As a kicker, do you know you've got it flushed straight away?
Yeah, you do enough practice. You see a little break made here by the Dragons. You do enough practice, and when you hit him flush, there's no better feeling.
Yeah, I bet. Here come the Dragons. The defence there from the Titans on Dane Francis, able to slow him up a little bit. Lovadua runs into Malaki Fotuaika, jersey number 8. Great story. We'll tell you about that a little later. Wide ball here to Jason Gillard, along with Tristan Saylor. Scored 14 tries this year. Here's Willis on the last. Grubber this time. And Willis has scored it. Again, the Titans, their backfield, horrible, just horrible. And Willis, not a great kick by any means, but again, desperation, enthusiasm and commitment, and he's rewarded.
Yeah, he comes in here and rolls one into the end goal, and it's set up nicely, but the lack of urgency. Sammy, as you said, Andy, he's been playing in the centres the last couple of weeks, goes to fullback today. And Willis, he's got so much time when he has the ball in his hands, just goes there, picks a gap, and gets rewarded for his chase. Hasn't had the greatest start, but just pushes through here. Sammy fumbles, and Willis on the spot. It'll be 6-0 Dragons.
They lead the league in kicks to tries, 26. That is for the Dragons this year. And no surprise, the Titans conceding tries through a kick way down the bottom of the ladder. So a good one there for Jackson Willis. He continues his good run of form. Been one of the real standouts in the Holden Cup so far this year. A number of really good young footballers and good young halves, and I think we're almost winding the clock back a little bit, Jamie, as a former NYC graduate yourself. We're seeing young halves who are coached really well, but also can genuinely play a bit of footy. They're not robotic.
100%, and this competition's being criticised as Lomax will put this one straight through for the points and ad-lib play, but you can see now that these footballers are actually starting to think about the game, their transition to first grade, and that's what we want to see. A lot more halves make their debuts younger than Nathan Cleary's and Ash Taylor's.
Yep. 6 points to 0 in favour of the Dragons. 4th place on the ladder. They were leapfrogged by the Parramatta Eels in their big victory over the Knights last night. So they can move back into a more comfortable position as Tristan Saylor does well to get a piece of that. He offloads to Stuart Mason. Mason versus Fotuaika. 2 really good and powerful young front rowers. Looking forward to this battle over the course of the next 70 minutes. Lovadua runs into a really strong tackle there. Rory Lillis. And they've done all the good work, the Titans.
I think the key with Lovadua after playing hooker so long is maybe just to get him a little bit wider, running at a half. So a tip on from Mason early on in the set, because he's coming down the middle now. He's meeting some pretty strong defence. Fotuaka and Fai, they're really giving him the business at the moment. So I'd like to see him just get a little bit wider and go at the halves.
Just short of halfway here. Jackson Ford plays it. 16 is Braden Gallagher, starting in place of Matheson Johns, who has gone up to Intrust Super Premiership. Stephen Masters is out for the Dragons, just the back end of a concussion. So a couple of changes in the three-quarter line. Sailor, Grubbers through, pressure on the Titans. Philip Sammy. He was late to the football, but did what was required. More pressure here on the visitors. As very proud father, Wendell Sailor. Much better half Tara there, watching that young man, son Tristan, do his thing.
I had to do a double take there. I thought it was Denzel Washington with the moustache there, but Wendell Sailor very proud of his son Tristan, and the Titans go short.
When it's short and it works, it's great. And when it doesn't, this is what happens. You've presented your opposition with a free 30 metres and a real crack from the start of the set. Lomax plays it to his brother. They need some help here. The Dragons continue the ball movement. Jackson Willis has stolen one. Has absolutely stolen one. There was some really good lead-up work from guys like Jackson Ford, and also involved was Dane Francis, and the little halfback sniffing around, ready to go.
Well, it's some poor defence from the Titans. They failed to wrap up the ball there, and nothing's doing here. You can see Sammy thinks he's got the ball wrapped up. Jackson Willis just says, no, thank you. I'm going to have a double early on. Take my try tally to 12. And the Dragons, what was scrappy attack, turns into a 4-pointer for Jackson Willis, his second one of the day.
That is great awareness from Jackson, because he was still 3 or 4 metres out before launching himself. The halfback starting with a double.
Well, it comes off the back of Tristan Sailor's repeat set, and that's the maturity that we have started to see from some of these second-generation footballers, and even the other footballers coming in to the grade of, you know, reserve grade and first grade. They're starting to learn their trait and mature a lot earlier, and that's what I want to see from these young halves. Too often than not, we don't see the succession rate from the 20s go through and stay up there. They get 1 or 2 games. We've seen guys like Kane Elgey struggle a little bit this year for the Titans, whereas a guy like Ash Taylor, who's had game management from the start, is really excelling.
Lomax should throw this over. Good to see young Zach back. No issues there, Emma. 12-0 to the Dragons.
Absolutely. Well, we wanted some entertaining footy, and we've got it already. But how good is that from Jackson Willis? We've spoken about the fact that, you know, Jamie, you mentioned that game management, and we've done quite a few of these Dragons games, and Jackson in particular really seems to have that ability that not a lot of 20-year-olds have, where they can, you know, get those repeat sets, and Tristan Sailor has that as well. And good news on Sailor, he's just actually re-signed with the Dragons for another 2 years, so big congrats to him.
Yeah, he's going to make the transition to full-time squad at the end of the year, which for any young man is a wonderful achievement and a huge part of the learning curve.
Where do you see him playing, Andy? I know he's playing 5'8" here today, but I've had a few chats to his father, Wendell, and I see him as a fullback. What about you?
Yeah, I see him probably more so as a fullback, especially early in the career, where you can sort of be afforded the opportunity of watching a little bit more football as opposed to running the side. But much smarter people will make that decision than I. Sammy again late on the football, but it was a drop there from the Dragons. So the Titans get away with this one. Anzi smaller. Curtis gets up to the 20-metre line. They need to show us something here. The Gold Coast, as Trey Williams travels across field. Not held, so he gets back to his feet and launches into it again.
He's lucky there for the Titans. Sammy gets out-leapt by Zach Lomax. If he had found a pass there, it would have been another try to the Dragons. The Titans just huddled behind the ball. They get a relieving penalty, but they really look on the ropes early on.
Certainly do. They've had very little of the football in 15.5 minutes.
And that's always the struggle. We saw that last night, even in first grade with Parramatta. They started the game slow, as there's another famous father, Steve Slippy Morris. What is it with all these Dragons dads supporting moustaches, Andy?
Yeah, no, there's something there, isn't there? Slippery enjoying. Oh, what a player Stevie Morris was, yep. Here come the Gold Coast Titans. The kid's Justin Fye pops his head through. And then...
He's dropped that on the boot, Andy.
Nothing more there.
Was that a kick from the Titans?
He's dropped that on the boot.
I think that the referees are about as confused as we are. What exactly happened here?
Collar, sir. That's why I'm just giving you the tip. You're allowed to go collar, aren't you? You wouldn't want to go any higher, right?
Okay, Fye. Nice little dummy there. He'll have to do aboard it.
Time run!
He did kick it. Snuck one in. Oh, very cheeky. Very gifted. Not so there from Rory Lillis on halfway. The Titans have spilt the restart. There's a turning point. A huge turning point.
Especially when they've had no football, Andy. They needed to build some pressure down on the Dragons line, spend some time down here, get yourself back into the game. As I was saying, you saw Parramatta start slow last night with no possession. And by the time they'd got themselves back into the game at half-time, they came out and started the second half the same way, and the game was gone.
The possession here after 17 minutes, 72% of the football has been with the Dragons, just 28 with the Titans. As a result, Gold Coast have been forced to make double, just a little over double the amount of tackles of their opposition. And here go the Dragons again. Gillard with the kick, has scored plenty this year, and Willis scored plenty today because that's number 3 for the young man.
Well, this is outstanding play from the Dragons. First play off a scrum. Love seeing these set little plays, and this is just out and out football by the Dragons,
isn't it?
You're going to see Saylor drift across, nothing doing. And watch this from Lomax. Just goes goose step, bang, don't argue. And the talent from Gillard to be able to put that on the boot. And Jackson Willis has popped up on the spot. He's got a hat-trick inside the first 20 minutes of this game. But look at this, Andy. Saylor out the back. Watch the don't argue from Zach Lomax. And the way he holds this ball out in front puts Gillard away.
Just really polished football. Gillard, nothing wrong with the kick at all. Willis couldn't believe his luck. Again, it's a kick that penalises the Titans. But the play has been superb as we already start to look into the record books. 3 tries in 18 minutes, a genuine hat-trick for Jackson Willis.
We saw Alex Johnson score 5 for the South Sydney Rabbitohs against the Panthers a couple of months back. Is he a chance of getting 5 today? You'd have to think so, the way he started.
The way it's going. Zach Lomax. Easy afternoon so far for the goal kicker. Hasn't been asked any real questions. And that is 3 from 3, 18 points to 0. It is all St George Illawarra. Well, speaking to Wayne Collins prior to kick-off, Jamie, great footballer back in his day, has plied his trade at a number of clubs, a very good football man and footy brain. And doing a great job with this football side, isn't he?
He is, and he's managing all this young talent. You spoke about how he rested Zach Lomax through an important period with Australian schoolboys, New South Wales. And you can just see, you know, that the club's in good hands when you've got guys like Snoopy Collins around managing the under-20s side for the Dragons.
Release there.
Really fighting for every metre there. Joshy Dow. Mason. Here's Saylor playing it wide out to Ruben Garrick. What do you like about this young fella? Tristan Saylor going to move into dummy half here. Takes the kicking option and pumps it downfield. Philip Sammy, the Gold Coast fullback, was well positioned.
That was a beautiful play from Tristan Saylor. He realises that they'd put Jackson Willis again on a sideline and he'd have to kick across his body, so he dummies to the left, just plugs it down to this corner, and Sammy, no, he hasn't played much fullback, but he's looking very nervous every time that ball comes near him today. You can just tell the Titans are off the pace. They've come here this morning. Probably a plane trip early this morning as they shift right now.
Here is Roberts, so close to getting the ball off his right hip there. Decided against it. He was under the weight of 3.
1, 2, 3, peel.
And that is exactly what the visitors needed there. Little leg up downfield. A lot of work to do for the visiting Titans. Their set starts 20 metres out from the reward line. Here they go, Tarara. Ben Wolf already utilising the interchange. Hakaraya out to Brimson, a short ball to Noema. Abiata is secured, just short. Trying to bulldoze over here, Philip Sammy.
Number 12.
And a third penalty for the Gold Coast, and more pressure for St George Illawarra.
I'm sure Coach Wayne Collins won't mind this. They've had a pretty easy start. They've had all the possession. I'd like to see them defend their own line, especially after losing 4 out of their last 5. They have been very scrappy, the Dragons, so they've got a lot of pressure here to defend.
It's about staying in games for the Dragons. So far, so good. Here is Justin Fye back to Hakaraya, wide to Roberts. Sammy bumps out of one, tries to push off and successfully does a second. The numbers get to him and the fullback is taken. Out the back to Brimson. He's held up. Good goal line defence from the Dragons.
Great goal on defence. Mason, that man involved the captain. Saw him a couple of weeks ago against Newcastle, chase down the winger.
Yep.
Heavily involved in all this defence. You see here, Brimson, beautiful play. Straight off the left, but the Dragons handling it quite easily at the moment.
Hold, go. 3.
Fire again. Oh, had the right arm ready. Didn't have any support. We arrive to play number 4. Karaya takes it out wide to Roberts, then inside to Sammy. Tackle of 4 or 5 denies him. Last play and no options for the Titans. And that is a really poor end to that set. No big question at the end of it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Andy, but geez, I like the look of Roberts. Every time he gets the ball, you can see the class. Probably a chance just to look inside, just let the ball go to his winger, because that Dragons defence of Francis, Gallagher out there, they're coming up and in very, very hard.
Good metres from Jason Gillard, the winger, helping out his middlemen. Also helping out is Ruben Garrick. All of a sudden, the Dragons are up over the 40 and looking in total control. They certainly control the scoreboard. 18 points to 0. TJ Ueli winds them up. His first touch, and look at the big man go.
Get out, 17.
Over the 30-metre line. Willis. To the air he goes. Taken by Brimson. Gold Coast diffusing and well this time.
Well, he won't be happy with that kick, Wayne Collins. Jackson Willis there tried a banana, but just needed to be patient, put it into the corner. And that's the maturity that we need to see if you're going to make a step into NRL. Just be patient enough to plug it into the corner. Don't try and get too fancy, because all your three first tries have come really easily for the Dragons.
Titans have certainly got the ability to score points and quickly. Very much a confident side. When it's down, they can be on the average side. When it's up, they can be brilliant. Poor option there, but not so, according to Tristan Saylor. Trying to get into stride here, the young number 6 wasn't able to with defenders around him and was reeled in by Trey Williams. Drop behind from St George Illawarra. Jackson Ford out to his left, is beaten now 2. Looks to the outside and tried to set up Dane Francis there. Some good scrambling defence from the Titans, because it appeared they were well and truly outnumbered. Willis to Mason. Let's settle things down here. The captain. Still midway through the count. Willis. Wide to Jaden Morgan. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities so far today. And a knock on here at the end of the set for the St George Illawarra Dragons. It was just a little much for Ruben Garrick.
There you can see the St George Illawarra trainer checking on Tristan Saylor. He made that break. It was a beautiful run. Fotuaka just finds an offload here, and watch this, Saylor takes off. Beautiful stride, but can't help but think he might be carrying an injury there.
Yeah.
He didn't seem to get into full stride, did he, Andy?
No, and he's certainly a lot faster than what he showed there. Let's hope he's okay. Moving very slowly to the scrum here.
They've made a little change there. The Dragons put Lovador in at hooker for a little bit just to get their rhythm back.
That was the Dragons' first incomplete set. Good completion rate. 11 from 12. Titans at 70%. Not a bad number, but certainly room for improvement. Here is Lillis. Pushes Willis off. Go to the short side, and good work here for the Titans. Curtis Danzy smaller. Offload to Daniel Brownbill. He spills it. Again, it's early in the count, and it's one the Titans may well look back on.
Oh, an opportunity gone missing here for the Titans. They make a beautiful break there through Danzy Smaller. He comes back in and just forces the issue. Trying to get something happening. Brownbill unfortunately drops it, but that's what can happen to you. When you don't start well and it's 18-0, you start chasing the scoreboard instead of staying with your rhythm. Can't help but think if they had have gotten tackled there, they get the chance to let it go wide, get Sammy involved. We see young Morris get his interchange card. He's about to come into the action, so we'll have Saylor and Morris maybe on at the same time, or maybe they take Saylor off.
Seven metres short of halfway. Mason plays it back. Overdua heavily involved. Tristan Saylor, here's TJ Ueli. Dylan Morris. Very flat ball there from young Dylan. Willis to the air. Sammy safely in goal. And safely with the football now. An opportunity for Philip Sammy. Quick restart. Oh, the Titans could have almost been done for a Shepherd. That was close.
That's great work from Sammy.
Yep.
Takes the ball in the in goal and realises the Dragons caught napping. Takes up beautiful space. We saw Dane Gagai last night catch the Parramatta Eels sleeping and made 50 metres. He was outstanding. Great work from Sammy there.
Danzy smaller. Blake Lenehan in 16 is on. Their momentum just halted a little here. The Titans. Crossfield Wallace to Roberts. Numbers. And Danzy smaller this time has put it down. The ball from Brown Bill. It's just not clicking for the Gold Coast.
Yeah, it's not clicking, but you can see here again the class of Roberts to go down there right to the line. To be able to do that, it's a communication thing, but also having your hands up and just a soft touch.
Yep.
I've seen Matt Moylan get out the back for so many years and go no look past the Dean Vare. But it's a feel for it. You've got to be able to just tip it on straight away and know that they're there without putting it through his chest. You can see Brownbill put straight through Danzy Small's chest. Tristan Saylor receives more treatment there. You have to wonder how long he's got left in this game, but you've got to have a real feel for it, don't you, Andy?
Come together. We'll go back to one. Go back to one ref here, boys. Head together. Come down. Time on. Ball in. In. Out.
Little break there for the Dragons just to get sorted. Tristan Saylor, yeah, he's still battling. Morris. Good power football there. Morgan. Lovadua.
Where's the push here?
Back to the near side, just over halfway.
Hands in. Break play down.
More pressure for the Titans here. You'd have to think they'll struggle to hold the Dragons out if they get their play on. It's a mouth-watering afternoon, isn't it?
Oh.
So many results. We're looking forward to seeing how this top eight's going to finish this year, but must win for the Dragons today. If they don't win today, you're happy to put a line through them?
Dragons fans probably won't appreciate it, but yeah, I think you're pretty close to putting a line through them if they don't win today. They've fallen south on the NRL ladder, haven't they, the Dragons, and it's now up to them only. They're 20s kids, I thought they were in for try number 4.
Touched him, and then there's a player in front. Yes, that's the rule.
Penalty here for St George Illawarra.
Young Morris there going right foot.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting barbecue to get together. You've got centre, fullback, wing, halfback. Now a little hooker, so you'd have almost a full back line at that family reunion.
Ready to go, aren't they? Out to the right-hand side. Braden Gallagher. Hard to bring down, but they finally do. Just trying to slow it up here, and Morris slides on through. Good footy there from Dylan.
Great work from Dylan Morris. He just tells a little lie to the open. The Titans were getting up fast off their line. It was 2 real nothing plays. He just tells a little lie there and throws a dummy and fallen for by Lillis, and he just goes over. He's been sharp since coming on, young Dylan Morris. Grabs himself a 4-pointer. It's about to be 24-0 to the Dragons.
That is winding back the clock. I know it was only 4 or 5 metres, but the dummy, the acceleration, the step. Yes, our older viewers have seen that before. Hey, Steve, you should be wrapped. Good stuff from the young fella. 22 points to 0.
Well, they've had all the possession, 65% possession, and you just can't get any quality football for the Titans with 35%. Zach Lomax will make this 4 from 4. I'm actually doing a little bit of goal-kicking work with Zach. So I want to try and see him have a couple of tough ones, Andy. Yeah. Otherwise, not much work for me to do, and he's kicking from in front.
If he keeps kicking from in front at 100%, you can raise your invoice.
Well, I still put the invoice in even if he kicks them all from in front.
We are going up in sixes. And the way it's going, Emma, this could be anything, couldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. So good to see from Dylan Morris there. I just did check with the Dragons medical staff about Tristan Saylor. Maybe he was just a bit puffed because they said, nope, he's not injured. He's never been better. So, I mean, nothing too serious. Possibly maybe he was just puffed or winded, but hopefully he doesn't lose any of that speed or that aggression because he's doing well for the Dragons so far.
The restart here with 5 minutes left on the clock. Yeah, knocked back and correct ruling there from our 2 referees. We actually haven't really noticed Adam Cassidy or Drew Altram out there in the yellow. And that's a great thing to be able to say that about the refs after 35 minutes.
Oh, I love that. Anytime you can tune in and watch rugby league at its best and you don't even know the refs are out there, you know they're doing a good job.
Out up here. Hold here. Titans hold. Hold. Go 3. Make sure you go to the side.
Ueli straight through on his inside support. Decided against it. It was Morris. Morris dummies. Pumps it over the top. Tackle number 4. Is it going to sit up?
20 metre.
Nope, just a little long.
Oh, a rush of blood there from Morris, but Ueli's had 2 barnstorming runs since he came on. Went straight through some flimsy defence from the Titans. And I saw how excited you were getting, Andy, because Morris was looming up in support. You were ready to call out. You see him there on the left. But Ueli decides to hold on to it. The Titans escape another opportunity for the Dragons.
It was going to be a risky pass. It initially looked like it was on the inside to Morris, but the defenders had positioned themselves. It was going to be risky. That was smart footy from TJ Ueli. Just holding on there.
Run around his own player.
Referees. It was retro round last week. We're talking runarounds, and that's exactly what it was. An old school runaround. A shepherd and a penalty. It's the 2nd or 3rd time the Titans just haven't clicked in that type of formation. They've had a runner coming through, confusing the defenders, and eventually the penalty is going to get blown. Ball out the back here. It's a little clunky from the Dragons.
Well, they look a lot sharper when they go to Roberts' side, the Titans. And interesting to see as we see Lovadua get some more work, but Dylan Morris playing hooker but defending out in the centres. So Wayne Collins obviously doesn't want to get his little fella too worked up with work, so he's put him out in the centres.
30-metre line to Tristan Saylor. Playing short and spitting the ball out there, Jaden Morgan. It wasn't on.
I said to leave it.
Big 2 minutes here for the Gold Coast Titans. You would almost say they need to score here. The way they've been outplayed for 38 minutes, they need something before half-time.
I'd like to see him lay this left tram line, which is around the 20-metre mark on the field, and just go to Roberts' side. Let him dominate that side, get him out the back with Sammy, play some nice early ball, try and catch the Dragons on the outside like they did earlier in the half.
Their line breaks or their meters have come on that far side of the field. They just haven't been able to hold the footy. At 2 or 3 drop balls on that far side could very easily be a different scoreline had those balls have stuck. Fotuaika still going, then spits it out. Lenihan. Taken by Gallagher. Here is Roberts. And a kick through with no one chasing. That's easy for Tristan Saylor. There's a rush of blood there from Ethan.
Yeah, big rush of blood there as the Dragons will go into halftime, you'd think. A comfortable 24-0. They get a quick chance here if they pack their
Lost the ball
scrum.
walking forward.
Crucial error from Zach Lomax coming out of his own end before half-time.
Let's take a look at this. Trying to get to the feet quickly. Some hands in there.
You can come up.
No.
But you guys are going to pack exactly where you've just bound in now, okay?
Yeah, it was ugly. It was awkward. And I guess the Dragons fans will be saying, well,
Head coming in.
Nah.
I've seen worse, but it's about
We're
ball
here.
security.
Heads in, 14.
You've got to have some
Head in, arms
responsibility
around.
as a ball carrier, Andy. I'm 100%
Come
with
on.
the referee there, and we've
Yep.
seen it this weekend as Roberts goes out the back to Sammy.
Oh, that looked on there. Sammy. Ball goes to ground. To Brownbill. 16 tries in 17 games for Daniel. Wallace. Ball free out to Danzy, smaller. And they get one more crack. Brownbill. Roberts raced up on. Still alive here as the siren sounds. Brimson over the top. And just when you think play has come to an end, Holden Cup often produces something special, and it did just then. The siren sounds a dominating first 40 minutes. 4 tries to nil. It is the St George Illawarra Dragons 24, the Gold Coast Titans nil. It is second half action here at the University of Wollongong Jubilee Oval. The Dragons and the Titans, and the Dragons with a blue from the kickoff out on the full, well played to the Gold Coast, good awareness, and the chance here for the Titans to post their first points and to try and give this a bit of a shake.
This is what they needed, the Titans, to come out and start this second half with an opportunity. And the Dragons give it to them straight away. You'd have to think Roberts will be heavily involved this set, directing it coming this side. We spoke about the possession, Andy, but they had 4 or 5 chances, the Titans. They just couldn't put it away, could they?
No, they did have some opportunities in the first half. Wallace had a couple of options there. Went to Ingram. Here's Brimson and Fotuaika. Big Moaki. Not stopped yet, finally thrown to the ground, but it takes 3 of them. It was on to the left-hand side there for the Titans. They gone the wrong way. So far, this defensive line, good for St George Illawarra. Lillis picks up the football on the run and charges back into the meat of the pack. Last play for the visitors. Roberts out the back to Sammy. He just tosses it out the back. Roberts again with the football. He throws it. Ends up with Wallace. He puts it into the air. An easy take for the Dragons and a huge opportunity wasted for the Gold Coast. They got caught on the last, it seemed, with no communication.
He's a live wire, that Wallace. He came in and went down short side. Plenty of options down there, but just a rush of blood on the last. You need to be able to get to your kick. And that was the story of the first half of the Titans.
Yeah.
A couple of times they'd built some pressure, but they'd go down there, not find a kick, and turn the ball over cheaply to the Dragons.
Gillard, he travels over halfway. Lays the platform here late in the count to Willis. Up he goes. This is where the Titans have been vulnerable, but surely a penalty to the Gold Coast here. Trey Williams taken out in the air from the kick there.
7.
Well, it's a cheap turnover from the Dragons, isn't it? We see it too often, even in the NRL. It's been a bit of fashion lately where teams are kicking down and giving a penalty away through just stupidity on the chase, interfering with the catcher, or being offside play 1, play 2. It's a massive, massive letdown when you've kicked down there and turned the ball over so cheaply, and then you're defending your own line.
Up now, lock in, go. 1.
Short side, Brimson. Halfway through the line. Again, the Dragons' defence may not be perfect, but it's desperate. Out the back. Off the Dragons. Referee signal, so another shot here for the Gold Coast Titans.
They've obviously spoken about going down the right-hand side of the Dragons. Brimson out of dummy half there. Wallace has gone down there a couple of times with some success. But just before, that play before there, Roberts, they're just waiting for the next play, the Titans. They're not pushing up. They're looking at the scoreboard. They're thinking it's going to be a long afternoon. You need to just push up, play the play, try and get yourself in a position to be able to compete. And then when the time comes, you look up the scoreboard, it might be 24-20. But at the moment, they're just standing around waiting for someone else to do it.
Sammy tries to do it himself. Philip Sammy still going. Sign of just brute strength there. Almost throwing two defenders off. Wallace out to Brimson. Short and turnover. Ingram. Too much pressure on him. Was unable to hold the football.
It's just too much pressure to force that pass at the line, and it's an easy turnover. Play two, rush play, trying to catch up, and then they back it up with a penalty.
Square marker, mate, and then you've come in the ruck there.
That's a couple of chances in this opening 5 minutes of the second half that, again, the Titans walk away with 0 points.
Do you think the Titans play spoiler this afternoon, Andy, or do you like the Dragons at Cogra in what we hope is a big crowd for the Cogra faithful?
You look at form lines, you look at the week both have had, and if you can predict today's scoreline or outcome with any great confidence, I think you're a miracle worker. I have no idea what to expect. I've got no idea what either side will toss up, and unfortunately, that's been the case for both sides for a number of weeks now, the inconsistency of their performance.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe we need to call Mark Gasnier after his prediction last night. The Newcastle Knights, Kenny Seo double.
Willis. 3 tries and now a try assist. Braden Gallagher says thank you very much.
Well, this is just class from Jackson Willis. He goes to the line here. It's smart because you can see Sammy's not even tracking the ball, the fullback. He's just fatigued. He's been in the game all afternoon. Willis sees no one at home, plugs it through. Gallagher says, thank you very much. I'll have a meat pie.
There was just no one there. There was no resistance from the Gold Coast whatsoever.
You can see Sammy tracking across in back of screen there. And he, as you said at the start of the call, Andy, he has not been playing fullback. He's been playing centre. So he's probably finding himself under a bit of fatigue there. But Braden Gallagher picks up his first of the season, first of his under-20s career.
Yeah, good on you, young Braden. It's been good today.
It's a performance that Wayne Collins would be wanting from his side heading into the finals. We spoke to him pre-game and he just wants some consistency. And you'd have to think, after what we've seen from the Sharks, Andy, that this Dragon side, if they get all their players back, could really trouble this Sharks side that are untouchable at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment it is all about the Sharks, isn't it? A 17-game winning streak. They've lost just twice this year, once in round 1, where the Broncos ran literally 100 metres after the siren to beat them by 2. They lost to the Eels in round 4, but since then, it has been all good for the Dragons. Faultless today with the boot as we go down to the sideline. Emma Lawrence.
Yes, Wayne Collins will be very happy with that start. He just wanted his halves to be a bit more patient in attack and not rush things, not try and force it. So he'll be very happy with Jackson Willis there. The message from the Titans sheds was control the ruck speed. We saw some of those Dragons forwards coming on. TJ Ueli just absolutely ripping them apart through the middle.
He's a good one. TJ Ueli, one of their more experienced under-20s campaigners. His last season of age footy.
I think he's going to be a top grader somewhere along the line. He's going to push for a spot. Probably needs to get a little bit fitter, but one thing he doesn't need to work on is his hair game. It's absolutely outstanding and flowing when he goes and makes a break.
On point.
Look at that.
Very, very consistent footballer. Willis. Out the back to Jackson forward. Over the 40 goes the try scorer, Gallagher. Back to the halfback. Here comes the chase from Zach Lomax. Putting pressure on Philip Sammy there. Sammy up to it this time round.
I often thought if we've got in games like this, Andy, where it was 30-0 and you dominated, that it was a chance not to necessarily try things, but just to remind everyone it's going to be a professional effort. We're going to the finals. We're building towards something rather than chip and chase. And that's what you can see Jackson Willis is doing, sticking with the game plan as the Titans make another error in their own half.
Just relax there, 22. We'll get the ball. We'll get the ball.
Dover Sliding, Australia's leading line wholesaler. We can touch your local salon today and line up in the heart.
Do we put this down to today? It's just one of those days for the Titans. Yes, there's been mistakes, but they haven't put themselves into the game. Even from the opening few minutes, they wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Is it one of those days? They have a bad night's sleep. It's very uncharacteristic.
It is, and we saw a little bit of that last night with the Parramatta Newcastle side. And don't take anything away from the Knights, but Tristan Saylor makes an error, so maybe they both got up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. It does happen, Andy.
Yep, it certainly does.
Well, that just gives us a chance to talk about the second game tonight, the Storm and Roosters mouth-watering clash down there at Amy Park.
A beauty, isn't it?
Anytime you can get Cam Smith, Pearce, there's Denzel Washington on screen again. But anytime you can get those guys head-to-head, Cronk and Pearce, mouth-watering, isn't it?
It certainly is. Cordner in the lineup for the Roosters and of course, the Penrith Panthers and North Queensland Cowboys. I think that is going to be an absolute belter as well. Great afternoon and evening. Brimson out to Williams. As one-on-one with Saylor. Good tackle from young Tristan. Good wrestle. Travelling across field here, the Gold Coast, who trailed by 30. Spit it out the back. Completion rate of just 60% for the Gold Coast. Wallace around one, through one, under one, and tosses it to AJ Brimson. He can't hold it.
Another error there for the Titans, but since he's come on, Wallace has been energetic. They've been tackled in the opposition half 22 times, the Gold Coast Titans. Only 8 times for the Dragons. Just no results, no patience, no consistency in their attack. And they've been punished for it because the Dragons, 8 times in the opposing 20 for 5 tries.
Fotuaker, the number 8 for the Titans, packing into the second row, leading both statistics. 20 tackles, 9 hit-ups. Make that 21 tackles, the big number 8. The end of last year turned up at the open trials for the Gold Coast Titans as a 16-year-old.
Oh, great success story, Fotuaker. He's been pretty good today in a beaten side as Morris takes off.
Here's Dylan Morris. He sets his sights on the corner. Too much speed, too much talent. And Dylan Morris collects his second for the afternoon.
Oh, that was outstanding play from Morris. He just makes a half break, turns on the Jets, and scores himself a double. See here, just picks the ball up cleanly. Wallace late getting out of the tackle. takes off, looks for support. No one's kept up with him. Takes on Sammy, a little bit of a stutter here, and great finish. And he scores in a corner where his brother Brett scored so many tries for the Dragons, but Dylan Morris, what a player.
Backed himself here with the stop and the stutter and the restart, didn't he?
It was pretty classy stuff. He's come off the bench today and being a live wire, goes into hooker.
That's 6 tries for young Dylan. Always coming in doubles. 3 doubles. The young fella.
He's got a long way to go to catch both Josh and Brett, as we see Steve Morris loving the attention on TV today. Hasn't combed his mo as well as Wendell Saylor's, but
No.
what a family. Combined for 300 tries, Steve, Josh and Brett. And now young Dylan Morris, as we see Zach Lomax line this one up from the touchline.
Starts right, stays right. His first miss for the afternoon. 34 points to nil, Emma Lawrence.
Oh, I mean, you don't want to take anything away from the Dragons. They have been great, but haven't the Titans just shot themselves in the foot? They're completing at around 57% at the moment. And I know we spoke about, or you guys spoke about, it just might not be their day. But last week they missed 73 tackles. So they're the kind of just coach killers that I imagine will be giving Ben Wolf a few more greys at this time of year.
Restart from the Titans. Dangerously close to the sideline. If we wind the clock back 15 minutes, that's how we started the second half, with the Dragons putting it out on the full. We thought maybe, just maybe, that was the signal or a sign that the Titans were back into this, but not to be. 6 tries to nil. Charging out of the defensive line, Kobe Tararo. Really shot out, looking to put the pressure on the ball carrier as up it goes from Willis. Oh, difficult one, that spiral. He was always going to battle there, Curtis Stancy Smaller. And straight through the gate it went.
Yeah, for any youngsters watching at home, Willis gets hold of this ball. Great purchase. Just slow to move, wasn't he, Dainsy Small? He didn't look confident. Always watch the best wingers and fullbacks in the game. Darius Boyd, Nightingale, Morris. They get there early, Andy. They get there early. They get their position, so they're not having to make it up late if the ball does go away from them, like it did there from Dainsy Smalley. And it'll give the Dragons a chance to attack from this set piece, where they've already scored one try today off a scrum.
Arms around.
Out to the right-hand side, and Ruben Garrick tried to throw off opposing St Ingram there. And there's Josh Dow. Had a good day again, Josh. Tristan Saylor. Offloads back into the centre for Bailey Dickinson. Bailey just settles things down here. Nice shape on both sides of the field here for the Dragons. Dow with number 2 for the set. And somehow short. Really strong defence from the Gold Coast. But how much longer can they last? Out to Saylor. He goes short, looking for Braden Gallagher, who was hoping for number 2 for his afternoon. Last tackle, Morris. Saylor. Good patient, high percentage football from the St George Illawarra Dragons. A very well-placed kick and a good chase at the back of it. They get the repeat set here.
Oh, beautiful touch there from Tristan Saylor. And as you said, Andy, in the call, beautiful shape from both sides.
Yeah.
More often than not in this 20s competition, you'd see them all shape up to one side. But it was nice shape from both sides there. Saylor and Willis set up. As Roberts gets this about 35 metres, but you'd have to think that another try is coming very soon for this Dragon side.
Dow. Get up number 11 for him for his afternoon. Dina's Dickinson again. Here is Willis. He goes wide to Jackson Ford. Nicely tackled there by Daniel Brown-Bill. Gallagher straightens and settles. Is only 4 or 5 metres out. It's on to the right-hand side. They go deep and wide to Willis. Now to Saylor. Stop start there. No, caught out. Now it's Willis. Short side. Back to Sammy. And he's trapped. So another repeat set and another good kick from the Dragons, and more pressure now for the Titans.
Jackson Willis swings down the short side there. Comes up with a beautiful kick last minute, but it was just a bit side to side there from the Dragons' attack. A bit clunky going to their right. I've always found when you were hitting your straps, everything just sweeping on the right motion. You see Roberts go short straight to Dylan Morris.
Oh, a swerve and a step there.
Come in, Deck.
A lost ball, but it was ruled as a strip.
I'm not sure about the short drop out there. I think that was a miscue from young Roberts.
And they're taking the two.
No.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand that either, Andy. You're comfortably leading 34 points to 0 today, but you see here Roberts looks up, looks down, looks up, and Morris says thank you very much, but you'd have to think that had come from Wayne Collins, the coach. But they've 2 repeat sets. It's a weird choice, isn't it? Because they look like they were coming to get the Titans again.
It's not 8-all with 3 to go either.
But we'll respect their decision.
Absolutely.
They'll take it to 6 tries. Comfortable lead. Gives us another chance to examine Zach Lomax's kicking style here,
Yep.
Andy.
5 from 6 and has had an easy day with the boot, but has also struck them really nicely.
Yeah, he has, and he's had a steady return too after a long layoff through forced rest as he'll move in and put this one through the sticks.
Natural kicker, Jamie?
Natural goal kicker, natural style. You see there, moves into the ball easily. Sometimes can force it from out wide, but in tight there. He's a work in progress.
How impressive, guys, too, to think that this Dragons side are really missing what could be a lot of their best players that have not even really played many 20s games this year. Think Blake Laurie, he was playing up in ISP and then has now gone up to first grade. Ruben Garrick's been playing up in ISP, even Jay Field. I mean, if all of those players were back here, imagine how good they would be then.
A very talented lot coming through this Red V system.
And that's what Wayne Collins made the point to us, Andy, that if they do get those guys back in time, they can give this competition a real shake. But you'd have to think that the likes of Jay Field will keep playing ISP with the eyes on playing NRL, possibly before the year ends if the Dragons season doesn't go to plan.
Huge game for both the Dragons and the Titans. Our kickoff at 3 o'clock today. You won't miss a thing right here on Fox League. What a week both clubs have had. One both would rather forget. It's the reason for the penalty here. Just searching a little high, Justin Fye there.
There's nothing better when your club's been in the news, even for good things. I think Parramatta last night, you just want to get to the game and play. You know that all the work's done. There's a lot of hype around, and sometimes the best thing is just to get out there, get into the game, get involved early, and everything goes to plan, hopefully. But this game this afternoon, it really is do or die for the Dragons. Well, I didn't get your tip for the Melbourne Roosters game. Do you like the Storm, or you think the Roosters with Cordner and Friend back in their side can cause an upset down there? 2
big inclusions, aren't they? Boyd Cordner and Jake Friend, 2 of their leaders, but I think I'm probably with the majority saying who's going to stop Melbourne at the moment in the mood they're in. Were you one of the ones that again fell for it at the start of the year? Oh, they're too old, they're not going to be there. Melbourne, no. There was a lot of us guilty of it for about the 5th or 6th year running.
I think a lot longer than that, as we see Gallagher make a nice break. Back to the middle. Beautiful offload to Hayden Lomax. They've got numbers to the right here, Andy.
Some really nice footy from the Dragons. Willis just pops it up for his skipper, Stuart Mason. Hit up number 11. Out to Willis and on to Saylor. Gillard. Oh, Morris. Dylan could see, he could smell the hat-trick. I think he's just been reminded too. Little smile on the face.
Oh, you could be forgiven for thinking that he's a hooker, Andy. He's not a winger or an outside back like his older brothers. As we see, Zach Lomax will come off and ice the back of that hammy. Hopefully it's not too serious, but yeah, you're right. Melbourne Storm, every year we think they're like the New England Patriots, aren't they? Oh, they're too old. Tom Brady's too old. As Roberts makes a break.
Okay, it's a foot race now. Ethan Roberts, is he quick enough? Answer's no there. Chase down. Jackson Ford, the back rower. Can't he motor? Crossfield to Wallace. Caught with the footy. Keenan Yorston, who turns 20 this week. They needed to let the ball sing. They didn't, the Titans. Someone go and check on Ben Wolf, the Titans coach, for us, please.
Well, it was a beautiful pass here. Roberts hits a nice line. And that man Ford reeled him in comfortably, didn't he? They had numbers sweeping to the left. And as you said, Andy, let the ball sing, boys. And again, they come up with another error. Titans just cannot get anything going this afternoon here at Cogra.
Let's bind him properly here.
36 points to nil.
Heads in, heads in.
I like Melbourne tonight.
Yep.
I think the Dragons win this afternoon. Melbourne tonight, just with the way they're clicking, it's a real sense of last time the band gets together, isn't it? With Cooper Cronk moving on, Slater possibly considering retirement. And then tonight, the nightcap.
Oh, yeah.
It's a danger game for the Panthers. It's a real danger game because the Cowboys are a gritty side when they come to Sydney, especially with no Jonathan Thurston. I think that's going to be a lot tighter than what people think. But Pepper Stadium should be rocking tonight out there at Penrith.
Yeah, it should be. The Cowboys very much up against it.
Watch it here, watch it here, watch it, watch it, watch it. Watch it. Jackson! Walk away, Jackson, now for.
He's a cheeky little thing, that Jackson Willis, isn't he? He's in everything. Doesn't mind letting the opposition know when he's on top of them, which is an unusual thing for a half, Andy. We're not like that.
I've blown that penalty straight there. Yeah. We don't need him going on with anything else. We've got that original penalty. Let's keep him cool. 11. No. 11, here. Just over there for us, 14. We've got the arm coming down back over the top there. We're not about to start anything more than that, all right? Let's just keep them cool. All the penalties for us.
Okay. This is the reason for it. Lillis, aggressive. Emma, is it going to boil over? The frustration evident from the Titans.
Oh, I love that push and shove. It's so good. But just a quick update on Zach Lomax. Just a bit of a tight hammy, nothing serious. But the medical staff said, well, why not take him off? We're up 36-0.
That is good news for Zach. Last played 20s, round 17, in fact, against the Titans. So hasn't been there for a number of weeks. So one-on-one strip here for the Gold Coast. Brownbill, the only player to have played every game for Ben Wolf this year. Maybe got away with a play the ball there as well.
Yeah, a little bobble there, play the ball. Gets away with it. It was good work from Wallace. Takes on the big Emanuele and says, I'll just take that.
Here's Brimson straight down the centre. It's taken 68 minutes, but the Titans have their first. Last time they were held to nil, going back round 25, 2012. History doesn't repeat.
Well, you saw Sammy before put his other half away in Roberts for a beautiful pre-line pass. And that time was Brimson on the spot, just pushing up in support, something they haven't done all afternoon, the Titans. You see there, he didn't have much support in the background, but Brimson shows a quick turn of foot, puts it over, scores himself a 4-pointer.
Good acceleration, but kept it going, didn't he? Very impressive from little number 7. Missed goal, 36 points to 4.
Obviously not the Titans' day, but AJ Brimson, he is a bright young talent. He played 20s Origin for Queensland alongside Brodie Croft, of course, who's down at the Melbourne Storm. So some bright youngsters coming through for the Maroons.
Just what every New South Wales fan wanted to hear, Andy.
Another
halfback. Star halfback.
Yep. Just checking out the shoulder, neck and the strength there. Ethan Roberts, let's hope he's all right. Awkward take there, the Titans at the back. Philip Sammy probably made it look a little more difficult than what it was, but he kept a hold of it. 6 tries to 1. Next couple of weeks for the Dragons, Brisbane, Penrith and Canterbury. 3 away games. 2 of those sides currently in the top 8. A good test on the run home. Lillis short of halfway. Wallace to Brimson. They're all offside the chasing side. Oh.
That's it, leave it 5. We've got the penalty. We've got the penalty.
They're offside. They got in early.
That is some dangerous play from Namir here. Not even looking at the ball and just crashes in. Courageous play from Gillard, but as I said, Andy, this is about the 3rd or 4th time both sides have given away a penalty, either on the kick or play 2 after a kick. He's picked himself up an injury because of it. It's a dangerous play there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a dangerous play, and he's a better player than that. So let's put that one down to mistiming. Mistiming only, hopefully, but copped a stray elbow as a part of that. So the football gods have a funny way of dealing out their justice, perhaps.
They sure do, as this weather starts to get a lot more overcast for this afternoon's game.
I like what Stuart Mason does weekly, the big number 8 for the St George Illawarra Dragons.
I think he's a future NRL player, Andy. He's a real worker, no fuss. He rarely plays the ball.
Got a good frame on him too, and it's really going to fill out.
Yeah, you'd have to think he'll fill out and put on probably maybe 5 more kilos of muscle once they get in the top squatters. Things threaten to boil over here this last 10 minutes.
Rory. We don't need you. We just need him and you. Get out. What happened? Bring him over here.
Rory! Rory!
What was that? What happened? Elbow all over the face.
Rory Lillis, for the second time, showing frustration.
Yeah. I spoke to this player no more than 5 minutes ago about rubbish in the ruck. Then he's got an elbow in the face. I'd want to suggest to him that he doesn't have a 3rd penalty in this last 8 minutes. All right? Yeah. Keep him under control, just like I spoke to you then. Keep it cool. On you, mate.
Oh, you can't do that, but that's no worse than you do to me. 1-on-1 there, Andy, getting a little bit of rubbish in the box here when I say something silly, starting off my career, but Nothing in that.
Ueli says, okay, boys, let's do it.
Yeah.
Good stuff from TJ. And the Titans manned up too.
Yeah, great work from both sides there. Great courage.
Sailor goes wide on here. Garrick. Back to Morris. Dylan tackle. Sailor. Dummy. Step and taken to the ground. Goes to Dow. Settling things. Willis is on this side of the field, but they're not going to get there.
To get up with the ball.
Drop ball from the big front rower.
Tried to play the ball too quickly there. Look at this, beautiful scenes. Ueli says, let's do it, fellas.
Yeah.
Run straight over Lillis, who'd given him the forearm before and gives him the business. And then there, maybe a tad unlucky, Dowell, but again, some responsibility on the ball carrier. He puts the ball down there, doesn't give the defending side a chance to clear the ruck. A nice call by the referee. They've had a pretty good game this afternoon, these referees.
I agree. An 11-6 penalty count in favour of the Dragons has certainly helped them. But I think they have had a good game, a real good game, as a matter of fact. It's very easy from this side of the fence to throw stones at referees regularly. We should also praise them when they do well. It's a thankless gig.
Well, it's a thankless gig, especially last night, Andy. I know you're a para fan as Wallace probing around the ruck, but what'd you make of that Kensio pass off the ground? Were you happy with Henry Perinara's call then, or?
I can avoid that by commentating here. The Titans looking for their second, and they find it. Trey Williams over in the corner. A little bit of footy late. Again, finding luck down that left side. Again, it's their number 7.
Yeah, Brimson there. Poor attempt on tackle from Tristan Sailor late in this half. You see here, Brimson goes straight to the line, busts through a tackle, takes on Dow. Just doesn't protect his inside shoulder there, Sailor, and finds his winger in Williams, who does good to finish. Finish on a positive note. This second half is only 12-8 to the Dragons. So they've been, whilst there's been errors for both sides this half, they have been better, the Titans. But don't think I'm letting you off this that easily.
Yeah, I think there's question marks over the decision, the nicest way of putting it.
It didn't decide the game, but...
It didn't decide the game, and Newcastle deserved their victory. They were, again, very good. Eels were off, and very off. Coming back. Short. It is 36 points to 8. Emma, 5 minutes remaining on a big day on Fox League.
Absolutely. We've got the main game coming up after this, or we've got the Intra-Super Premiership and then the main game. Can the Dragons get back into the 8? We'll have to wait and see. Just a quick injury update for the Titans. Ethan Roberts, he just sort of fell awkwardly in a tackle, but it's nothing serious with his shoulder, which of course is good news. If they are going to make the 8, they're going to need their number 6 on board.
I guess of most concern for the Dragons is a potential question mark over Zach Lomax and his hamstring already on ice. Did, in fact, Tristan Sailor pick up an injury early in the game when it appeared he couldn't stretch out?
Well, being young, you'd hope to think that they'd heal quite quickly, but yeah, there's a few question marks, and their second half hasn't been great. They've been impatient at times. They've forced the issue. If it wasn't for a bit of brilliance from young Dylan Morris, then the Titans would have won this second half. But I'm sure Wayne Collins will be happy. His team gets a win. But they've got 3 tough road games coming up, which will hopefully hold them in good stead for the finals.
Tackled on the 40. So a couple of shots here and good through the brown bill. Numbers on his outside. Went himself. They do go wide to Curtis Dancy smaller. He flicks it on, and Rory Lillis collects number 3.
Well, they've scored a couple of late tries here, the Titans. Lillis picks up a well-earned try. He's had 28 tackles, 5 hit-ups, so he's been busy on the defensive side.
Him and Zay Wallace really strong defensively and with big numbers. 0-3 the Titans from the tee. No conversions, 36-12. 6 tries to 3. All of a sudden, it doesn't look as dominating as what it probably has been.
No, and this is what I was talking about just after half-time. Wayne Collins will be disappointed with how the Dragons have finished this half, finished this game. They deserve to be way ahead and kept this team to nil, because the Titans have been poor this afternoon. But to their credit, they've thrown the ball around and scored a couple of tries late. But you just can't do that if you want to be a top contender come September.
Last couple of minutes of the under-20s. Titans in control of the football. The 2 Intrust Super Premiership sides already warming up on the sideline. They are next. Right here live on Fox League.
How good to see the North Sydney Bears colours warming up here. The northern end as Wallace takes off.
Through the middle. And still going. And still going.
He's got a bit of footy in this, Wallace.
Yeah, doesn't he?
Leave it.
No.
Leave it, 14.
Away, Jackson.
All around his neck. You got players in front, just there. They're back there.
Penalty here for the Gold Coast. Probably means they'll finish the game with the footy. For the Gold Coast, the Eels, the Bulldogs, and the defending premiers, the Roosters, over the next 3 weeks. Like the Dragons, their run home sees good test. The Eels coming off a big win over the Broncos. The Dogs and the Roosters aren't in the top 8 presently. So an opportunity for the Gold Coast, but I think more concerning to them, their coach Ben Wolfe, isn't the result, it is the performance. It hasn't been up to scratch today. Here is Brimson over the top. Ray Williams comes back infield, kicks ahead. Really nothing on there for the Gold Coast Titans. Kick and hope more than anything.
Yeah, kick and hope. Williams drifting back across field there. Not much doing, just tries to roll it in the in-goal. Might have probably see the end of it, but dominant performance from the Dragons. Scrappy second half, but they did all the damage the first 20 minutes. Jackson Willis, a hat-trick inside 18 minutes.
It was a really positive start from the Dragons, from Jackson Willis in particular. Yet they've faded late in the game. But a win's a win. Philip Sammy over the top. You could see anything here. Danzy smaller. Brownbill bumps off one and is held up over the line after the siren. So that is how he finished.